Think of this. Millions of years ago, fish figured out how to make electricity. Millions of years ago, right? The eel, the electric eel. You ever grab one of them, they'll throw you down, right? So we are energetic beings. It can be measured. Not only can it be measured, but we can have instrumentation to actually measure the energy of emotion. Pretty wild, huh? So when we have an emotion that's causing me to fail, that's causing me to go weak, then my whole body is in constriction mode. It's convinced I'm going to die. But being that you're spiritually natured, you realize you're immortal. You're spirit. So when you leave the car behind, you don't die. There's nothing that could die. You go on. From 50,000 near-death experience, that means you're not even here. All the lines are flat. You got no heart line, no brain line. You're dead, so to speak. 50,000 near-death experiences from age 2 to all the way up, they all have the similar exact description. How could that be? An exact description. They all have the similar experience. Even children that didn't have any training, how can they know? Because they have that same experience of that light. So the idea is, am I going to wait around till the exit time, till my transition comes, or would I like to work on it now? So that's the idea of self-cultivation. As my vision improves, now I notice where my sights are set. Now I'm making a choice. I'm going to line it up with what's of life, and everything that's taken me out is going to have that effect. So we begin to use the vision as a way to leverage our choice. Am I looking up at life? Is it nourishing me and supporting me or not? So there was this very interesting program on, I think it was the Science Channel, this world-renowned artist. From all over the world, they're buying his pictures, right? And he's like 80-something years old. And this scientist can't figure out, how could he be a world-renowned artist? Because he's got no eyeballs in his head. How could you draw something you've never seen? Not only draw it in a way that is art, in a way that, oh, that's a bird bath, and they're flying around. How could you do that? So they put him in an MRI, and they did a scan of his brain while he's drawing a three-dimensional figure. And lo and behold, the optic center, the vision center of his brain is firing up. They said the vision center of his brain is lighting up. He doesn't even have an optic nerve to fire on, and yet the vision center of his brain is firing up. Well, this astounded the scientist. How could this possibly be? So he wants to check the guy out and see, well, what does he do when we put him in front of a building and let him draw perspective? So he takes him to Florence, Italy, where Brunellesco in the 1200s something invented the perspective of a drawing. You know, so when you look at a building, it's not drooping off the side of the page, right? Because until then, if you look at art, it's all flat. There's no perspective to it. So Brunellesco is in front of this 8-sided building, and in his world-renowned painting, he draws 3 sides in perspective, first time, right? So they take this blind artist, and they let him be in front of it, and they show him what it feels like, and he sits there, and he draws it. Only what he draws is 5 sides. He draws 5 sides of a building you can only physically see 3 sides to. Well, how's he do that? He sees it in here because of what it feels like. So now literally he sees what it feels like. Wow, what a revelation. Because now we begin to understand whatever is mirroring into the mind, I'm going to feel it. And whatever I'm feeling is going to mirror into the mind. So we begin to understand if the person wants to have a positive benefit from their care and their treatment, we're going to be, are you willing to look up at life? Because then you're going to get the benefit from the treatment. If I'm looking down at life, I'm going to notice everything I don't have. That's what's going to be up here. Everything I don't have. And is there a lack of things I don't have? Probably not. So I'm going to feel threatened, which means I'm going to contract. The instant I contract, I go into chest breathing. Right? Now the brain and the heart cannot get enough oxygen. If the brain and the heart can't get enough oxygen, what about the eyes? Not only that, but the total volume of blood that circulates through your body circulates through your eyes every 2 hours. It's kind of interesting to me because there's 12 major meridians in the Chinese medical model. Every 2 hours, the energy circulates through another meridian. So literally, what you're looking at in life, the circulation of your whole being, because we know the energy and the blood are like that. Wherever the energy goes, the blood goes. Where the blood goes, the energy goes. Like after the mother has the birth, all the blood went out, she's tired. So, if my mind is worrying, why am I going to be tired? Because that's where my blood is going to. If my mind is upset, if I feel tormented, there it goes. So that's why we're looking at what can lift us up, what can build us up, what could inspire. Because whatever can inspire might tap into faith. And if I could just have that, how much? A mustard seed? You ever see a mustard seed? It's small. And yet, the big tree grows. So, how much faith does it take? Whatever you got. If that's all you got, that's all is necessary. And then what? Trust. So am I willing to trust what's bringing me toward life or not? That's going to engage a whole different scenario for the brain. Because when I'm looking up at life, what's happening is my field of vision is literally opening up. I'm using both sides of my brain. So it's highly likely that I might leverage my experience. I might be able to optimize what's going on for me. Now I feel what? Some empowerment, which is way different than control. Because control is based on the expectation, anticipating how bad is it going to be. Whereas empowerment, it's like the empress that you are, arising from within. It doesn't matter how you dress the empress. She knows who she is. Crown, no crown, walking around, sitting down, she knows who she is. So that's the idea. We're enlisting, we're encouraging, we're drawing out. What is your choice? You like to feel the treasures of the empress in your life arising? Something's going to happen. People are going to be looking at you like, what happened to you? You look different.